that if you have a crisis like this, you can't be.
Hello, we lost Mr. Hyman there. We are going to try to see if we can reconnect with Mr. Hyman in a wee bit. So let's see if we can get back to Mr. Hyman. We were talking to him about the economic matters here in Jamaica, land we love. And indeed, we will be coming back with Mr. Hyman in a short while. So just stick and stay with us as we. All right, so Mr. Hyman, we are going to get back to Mr. Hyman in a more.
Oh, I hearing you loud and clear. You're not hearing me.
Oh, we actually went off just now. I don't know what happened. Yes. All right,
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yes.
Yeah, I must tell you why I said the minister is happy. So apart from the fact that she hasn't done anything significant since Nigel Clark left, we have now gone 21 days since the hurricane, and we haven't heard a statement from the minister, although the hurricane has wiped out almost 50% of GDP. What makes it even more complicated is that given the balance of payments challenges, we thought the minister that we're not hearing her. We thought she was busy discussing funding with our multilateral partners, IMF, World Bank, IDB, because we're going to need money from those places. Only to hear the IMF saying yesterday that the government has not approached them for any assistance. Yeah, so we can work with a situation like that where the finance minister is missing in action at a time when we need an economic recovery plan.
The IMF rally, the IMF basically, over the years, people have basically questioned whenever we are to re-engage the IMF because of the measures that instituted by the IMF. However, at this time, why is it important for us to engage the IMF and indeed the other multilaterals?
All right. Now, the reason that people are scared of the IMF, remember in the 1970s, the IMF was used as a political weapon by America and the West to fight against countries who are not aligned with them in terms of economic and political philosophy. Yeah. The IMF has changed significantly since then. And in terms of since COVID-19, the IMF has established facilities for countries which are affected by not just economics, but because of pandemics and because of natural disasters. So an IMF agreement in relation to natural disasters wouldn't be an agreement that is telling you to cut this and cut that and cut that. Yeah? But you need that, so you need that assistance right now to help with balance of payment support. So it would be a different agreement. Remember, recently we had a resilient sustainability facility with the IMF, which ended in 2024. We can get another facility like that at this particular point in time, and that is what they are thinking of. That's why they call it resilience sustainability facility. It's not the normal punishing IMF agreement. You follow me? Because it is not, the reason why you are seeking assistance is not because of economic mismanagement. It is because of things beyond your control like pandemics and natural disasters.
Good. The heads of the Caribbean was here. When was it? They were here day before yesterday, I think. And Mia Mottley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, she posited the view, and I may be paraphrasing here, that she would use her international clout with the agencies to assist Jamaica. Why would we need a Mia Mottley, and what should she brings to the table in terms of doing anything appreciable on Jamaica's behalf at this time?
All right, let's start where you started. She has a whole lot of credibility with the international agencies. For example, Barbados, I get the IMF to agree. The man who run the Barbados program, Bert Van Selm, was the man who was the resident representative to Jamaica when Dr. Peter Phillips was running the show, right? He's the man who is in charge of Barbados, and Barbados got him to agree that they'll not reduce their debt to GDP ratio until 2034, 2035 to 60%. Mia Mottley got them to agree to that. Mia Mottley got the international community to build in Barbados debt what is called a resilient sustainability facility, where if you have a hurricane or a major earthquake, you don't pay no money until you recover.
Okay. What in we would normally call, what would we call that, a moratorium, so to speak? Hello, Raleigh? Lost Raleigh there. Raleigh?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm hearing you, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Barbados got an IMF agreement that never caused them to devalue their currency. Barbados got an IMF agreement that they run a primary surplus of less than 3% of GDP. So Mia has a whole lot of credibility, and she knows that our finance minister is helpless. That is why she contended that she would help us, because she knows that our finance minister is helpless, and she knows that she can talk to these fellows in the multilateral community because of our credibility.
Yep. Oh, okay. So Raleigh, the whole rebuilding the economy, we are seeing where a lot of, well, what would describe as a lot of money, the 150 cat bond and the
it's not a lot of money, because
in the scheme of things,
people believe it's a lot of money. Your matches from you that say all the money that them get can only account for 5% of the damage. That is why they need multilateral assistance. So people might see and hear and talk about and believe a whole lot of money coming in. Not it. The money that them get is 500 million maximum. That can only cover 5% of the damage. So they need money from IDB. We need money from IMF. We need money from World Bank. Yeah. We need money from the Caribbean Development Bank. All of those places.
Absolutely, Raleigh. The other question that person would say, listen, you are going to enter into this borrowing arrangement and so on. What will happen, because we have to rebuild Jamaica? Explain to my people how this borrowing of money to rebuild will basically help to move the Jamaican economy back appreciable by way of rebuilding the infrastructure.
All right, watch it. Tax revenues are going to be down. Right now, some of the tax offices are even open back. Right? A lot of businesses get wiped out, so them can't pay the taxes, which is a straight street man language. So it means that the government will have a problem in funding the budget, right? So they have to borrow money from the World Bank. World Bank give money for build back infrastructure. They have to borrow money from IDB for build back infrastructure. They have to borrow money from the Caribbean Development Bank for build back infrastructure. As Dr. Peter Phillips said, they have to stop take the 11.45 billion from the National Housing Trust to help with the housing rehabilitation program. Right?
Yeah.
So when you start with that now, build back infrastructure, you have a big multiplier effect and you have rapid growth. So that is why they need that kind of funding, and then they need IMF to back them up now in terms of the balance of payments thing, because a lot of the things that we need for build back infrastructure have to be imported. More food will have to be imported. We need to import more tractors. We need to import more trucks. We need to import more bulldozers. So you need the backing of the IMF to provide you with that kind of money in the face of the fact that you're not earning the foreign exchange, the tourism down, BPO down, and all of those things down. Yeah. So different sources of financing for different purposes. So the fiscal accounts need money from IMF, from World Bank, IDB, CDB to build out infrastructure. And we need money from the IMF to help us to pay for the things that we're going to import. Because we have to import a whole lot of things: food, capital goods, raw materials, spare parts, all of those things.
Raleigh, I have another question, but before I go there, I want to put this one to you. People like yourself, were saying to the government that don't pay down the debt so aggressively, but use some of that money, that $107 billion in overpayment, to really build out infrastructure. Do you believe that had that approach taken, we could have lessened the impact that we saw, but because our infrastructure would be more resilient?
That goes without saying. If we had concentrated on paying the debt on time, then and spent more on infrastructure, then things like the flooding and all of those things, the impact would be less. Similarly, if we had stopped taking the $11.45 billion from the AHT in 2016 after the termination of the ESF, which was the agreement that we had, and built out some more houses for the people, then the impact would have been less. So some people are talking the stronger your structures is the more you can withstand the impact of those things. We find ourselves in a country where even when a little rainfall, the whole of the country flood out because we don't invest in the infrastructure. We don't clean the drain them. We don't build a new drain. We don't train the rivers them. We spot river break them banks and all of them to overflow the place. It's because we never train the river them. So don't blame the hurricane for everything. Blame the lack of investments in infrastructure while they overpay the debt. And I'm saying to you, and I'm saying to everybody, including the JLP trolls, the week before the hurricane came, both S&P and Fitch were saying, why is it that you're paying down the debt so fast and the economy is growing so slowly and you have one of the lowest per capita GDP in the entire Caribbean and Latin America?
That wasn't coming from Ralston Hyman. That was coming from Fitch and S&P.
Fitch and S&P, and it's on the Ministry of Finance's website now. So they can check it for themselves.
So people can go there because that's important, Raleigh, and that's what I'm happy about. Your point and direct people to the source. You're not just talking from the seat of your pants, so to speak. Raleigh, this movement to my next question now. Do you see this moment as an opportunity for Jamaica to strengthen resilience, improve infrastructure, and modernize disaster preparation through these financial partnerships?
Most definitely, and that is why I'm telling you that they must go to the multilateral agencies because those people understand that. That is why Mr. Goldfund from IDB was down in the West yesterday. Yeah? So they will provide you with affordable and concessionary funding in order to build out those things. So that is why we needed to hear from the Minister of Finance. What is it that she's discussing with these people? What is it that she's discussing with the Jamaica Development Bank of Jamaica? What is it that she's discussing with the Bank of Jamaica? Because we need money from the international agencies for the government. We need money from the IMF for the Bank of Jamaica. And we need money to finance and to rehabilitate the businesses, particularly the small businesses that crashed under the weight of the hurricane. Yeah? The finance minister not helplessly standing there and not saying anything. That is one of the reasons that the dollar dropped to 160, 196 yesterday, because confidence is being eroded.
And as you said, we're expecting to see further intervention in the market today.
Yeah, man. Bank of Jamaica is going to intervene today. They are going to be intervening in the foreign exchange market, and they are going to be mopping up more liquidity in order to try and strengthen the dollar. But that is not going to help until we get a comprehensive statement and a national economic recovery plan to inspire confidence. Those things are not going to work. The BOJ is just wasting time. They are giving the governor of the BOJ a basket to carry water. Yep.
Yeah. So Raleigh, in light of all of this, the debt to GDP ratio was projected to be down to 60%. With Hurricane Melissa now, where do you see the debt?
90%. We can wipe out almost half of GDP. So we are back up now to about 90%.
About 90%. And over the next 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 years, where do you see us the debt to GDP at? Remain at 90%?
If we start the recovery program and start to grow rapidly, then it will come down. That is why the National Recovery Program is so important. But the fact of the matter is that the Andrew Wallace government alone can't do the recovery process. As Dr. Phillips said, you need a National Office of Reconstruction. That is why he created EPOC in 2013 May, because it was a plan for national survival where no one political party can manage it.
So why is this so long in coming, Ralston? A number of voices, political voice in the political sphere saying it, voice from outside politics saying that, listen, we need this national coming together. And so on. Of course, Dr. Peter Phillips weighed in on your program. I think you had him for about an hour yesterday, talk about a number of things, including making reference to the EPOC. Why do you think Mr. Holness is so stubborn in doing this,
because
Andrew?
He's not a consensus leader. He's a political leader and try to politicize everything. He's not a consensus building leader. What we need now is a consensus building leader, because he's just pure ego. Yeah, because we know that him don't have the competence. We know that the cabinet don't have the competence to deal with this because when you look, we almost got a month yet and nothing changed for none of the people, and the people must suffer the same way.
But
and he's pretending like him alone can manage it.
But he is the leader that we have right now, Raleigh. So what is going to force his hand to basically recalibrate and basically take those advice and bring all hands on deck? What do you think will cause that?
I don't know what the Jamaican people are going to do now because almost everybody, international and local, is telling him to do that. And he's refusing to do that. So it comes down to the people and know how the people are doing, whether they might demonstrate, what they are going to do, because the people must suffer and him can't manage the thing and him now bringing other people to manage the thing. So we have a big problem. So that's stalemate. And all of that is going to do is to prolong the hardship and prolong the recovery process and put him in a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm. Finally, Mr. Hyman, economist Ralston Hyman, what advice would you give to the Jamaicans who are concerned about the country's economic future after Hurricane Melissa?
Just to send the Prime Minister a strong message that we need an Office of National Reconstruction and we need a National Economic Recovery Plan. And we are aware that you alone can't do it because almost a month gone and we don't see nothing happen. So we're not going to accept that. So we need everybody for pressure him to set up this National Reconstruction Office and stop politicizing the thing because this is not politics. This is a Jamaican survival problem.
In 30 seconds, Raleigh, if you were called to be a part of this national consensus building, would you accept?
I answer the question when Dr. Peter Phillips asked me. So I would answer the question. I have far more experience in these things than the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance.
All right. Thanks a lot, Raleigh. God bless you. Man. Time.
Bless
all right.
you.
Good. Okay, that's Ralston Hyman, one of Jamaica's most brilliant and formidable financial commentator and economist. Ralston Hyman, he also hosts Real Business. Thanks to Raleigh. Thanks to our other guests who joined us this morning, Dr. Karen Dunkley. On behalf of everyone, join us again tomorrow. So long.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.